Good evening. The Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School Board, District Board of Trustees are now convened in a regular meeting on Monday, November 11th, 2019, in the boardroom of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Instructional Support Center, located at 10300 Jones Road, Houston, Texas, at 6 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience and our television viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Cypress-Fairbanks Board of Trustees, we're here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by sections 551.071 through 551.084 of the Texas Government Code. These proceedings are airing live on CFTV Channel 16 and CFTV Online on the district website. They will be rebroadcast throughout the month on Channel 16 and available as video on demand on the website. For the tape to adequately reflect the proceedings, I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening for this meeting and you express your interest in Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. I'd like to also take this opportunity to recognize our community leadership committee members who are here tonight and ask that they would please stand. Kelly Ray, Gilbert Sarabia, Stephen Bailiff, Danica Smithwith. Let's give them an applause for them. I'd like to also recognize our Boy Scouts, and we have Vincent Gomez from Troop 1296. Vincent, where are you there? Let's give it up for Vincent. The invocation for tonight's board meeting will be given by Stephen Bailiff, lead pastor of Second Baptist Church, Cypress campus, where he has served for 14 years. Stephen and his wife, Tiffany, have lived in CFISD community since 2006 and have 3 boys that attended Sampson Elementary School, Goodson and Spillane Middle School, and Cy Woods High School. His oldest sons are currently at Texas A&M and the University of Arkansas. Second Baptist Cypress campus has adopted 3 CFISD schools, Salyards, Alt, and Cypress Park. Pastor Bailiff served on the most recent long-range planning committee, and he is a current member of our community leadership committee in CFISD. Second Baptist Cypress does a great job of supporting our staff and students and the community. We're happy to have you here tonight, Stephen. And we're thankful for your ongoing commitment to our district, and thank you for being here tonight. We're going to have our invocation, and after the invocation tonight, since this is in Veterans Day, in honor of Veterans Day, the Cypress Springs High School AFJROTC cadets will present the colors. The Cypress Springs cadets are under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Trin G. Warner, a retired United States Air Force. And this will be the order of the night. Carrying the United States flag will be Color Guard Commander Cadet Major Sarah Middleton. Carrying the Texas flag will be Cadet Major Jessica Flores. The U.S. Guard is Cadet Major Jerome Stallworth, and the Texas Guard is Cadet Second Lieutenant Niall Curran. Please forgive me if that's not the pronunciation of your name. Following the presentation of the colors, Lieutenant Colonel Warner will sing the national anthem, and after the national anthem, Cadet Airman Basic Joseph Olatowuji will do a short poem, and then we will have taps played by Cadet Captain Nicole Ospina, and that will be our time tonight.
Ask you to stand as we ask the Lord to bless our evening. Heavenly Father, on this Veterans Day, we give you thanks for the freedom that we have in this country, the freedom that has been fought and defended by so many brave men and women and are currently serving. Lord, we pray for their protection. Lord, we thank you for the Cy-Fair community and this board. Ask your blessings on them as they lead. Lord, we pray that you would give them great discernment and wisdom. Father, we pray not only for safety for our students, but Father, success as the men and women of this community that have been called to be teachers and administrators pour into the future of Cy-Fair. Lord, you bless them, bless their efforts, and Lord, let us as a community support not only the teachers and the administrators, but this board as we build the future in Cy-Fair. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
Today, we honor our veterans. I do not know your name, nor for which battle you died. I do not know your home, nor for the tears that were cried. I do not know where you rest, nor the promises broken. I do not know your uniform, and your fears lay unspoken. But I know your spirit exists, that your courage is admired, and your sacrifice is honored by each soul that's inspired. And I offer you from my heart, thank you to Guardians Unknown for offering yourselves for us all, that we may keep freedom our home.
You may be seated. Board Member Tom Jackson will read the district's vision and mission statement for the benefit of the audience.
Our vision statement: learn, empower, achieve, dream, lead. Our mission statement: maximize every student's potential through rigorous and relevant learning experiences, preparing students to be 21st century global leaders.
We'll now proceed to the recognitions portion of the agenda. Item 1A, the board will recognize Julie Heineman for receiving the 2019 Heroes for Children Award from the State Board of Education for SBOE District 6.
Good evening, Dr. Ogletree, board members, and Dr. Henry. Tonight, I have the privilege to cheer about incredible people who are making great things happen in CFISD. To start, I'm honored to cheer about one of our very own CFISD trustees, Julie Heineman. Julie was recently awarded the 2019 State Board of Education Hero for Children Award in Austin, Texas. Julie was selected for her work advocating for public education and mentoring students. Julie still mentors in CFISD, and she will tell you it's one of her very favorite volunteer activities. Julie, thank you so much for choosing CFISD. We're grateful for everything you do to provide opportunity for all CFISD students. Thank you.
Item 1B, the board will recognize Laddie Trainer, manager of Walmart Cypress Neighborhood Market, for his generous contribution to the 2019 CFISD Back to School Expo.
I'm super excited to also talk about one of our generous business partners. Walmart Neighborhood Store Copperfield has been a generous supporter of the CFISD Back to School Expo for 6 years. Laddie Trainer, store manager, made the 2019 event the best yet. His team assembled hundreds of individual bags of school supplies and gave them to event participants. Walmart staff also served fresh cut produce, provided immunization education, and gave away bottled water. In total, Walmart gifted $20,000 in goods to the CFISD community. We are grateful for such an incredible business partner. Thank you, Walmart and Laddie Trainer.
Item 1C, the board will recognize Community Impact Newspaper, Cyfair, for being named to the 2019 TASB Media Honor Roll.
Dr. Henry. Tonight we are recognizing Community Impact Newspaper Cyfair for receiving TASB's Media Honor Roll designation for 2019. Jason Culpepper is the publisher of Community Impact Newspaper, and the Cyfair team is led by General Manager Kelly Ray, a Cyfair High School alum, editor Sean Araj, reporter Danica Smithwick, and graphic designer Evelia Gramajo, a Cy Springs alum. The Media Honor Roll recognizes individuals and organizations in print, radio, television, and digital media who make the effort to get to know district's mission and goals, report school news in a manner that is fair, accurate, and balanced, and maintain a policy of no surprises by sharing information with school representatives. Having served the Cyfair community for over 10 years, Community Impact Newspaper Cyfair prides themselves for unbiased reporting and presenting factual information in a clear and concise way. Community Impact Newspaper has lived by its tagline, local, useful, everyone gets it. At its inception in 2009, Community Impact Newspaper Cyfair had a distribution of 105,000 homes per month, which has increased to 134,000 for a growth of 28%. Congratulations to Community Impact Newspaper Cyfair for being the latest recipient of TASB's Media Honor Roll.
Item 1D, the board will recognize campuses who earn the superintendent's incremental growth award based on star performance 2018-2019.
Good evening, Dr. Ogletree, board members, and Dr. Henry. It is an honor for me to introduce to you the 2019 Superintendent Incremental Growth Award winners. Dr. Henry created the Superintendent Incremental Growth Award back in the 2015-16 school year to acknowledge campuses making incremental growth in the economically disadvantaged and or African American and or Hispanic student groups in all content areas. This criteria are actually quite a bit more rigorous than what is used in state accountability. The award is presented at 3 levels. The Bronze Award is earned through growth in the economically disadvantaged group. The Silver Award is earned through growth in the economically disadvantaged and the African American or Hispanic group. And the Gold Award is earned through growth in the economically disadvantaged and African American and Hispanic student groups. The selection criteria are based on campuses meeting one of the following. For approaches level, growth from the previous year, or 90% or higher in both years. Any growth meets in the meets or masters will also help them earn an award. We will begin with the bronze level campuses showing growth in the economically disadvantaged student group. Our first recipient is Horn Elementary. So if you'll come forward, please. This is Horn's first time to be recognized, and Horn Elementary is being represented by Principal Tracy Bennett. If you are a faculty member or staff member of Horn, please stand and be recognized. Oh, there's a large group there. Our next recipient for the bronze level is Sampson Elementary. This is Sampson's second time to be recognized. Sampson is represented by Principal Heather Motsney. If you are a faculty member or staff member of the Sampson team, please stand and be recognized. Our next bronze level recipient is Hopper Middle School. This is Hopper's first time to be recognized, and Principal Wendy Whithouse is here to represent Hopper. If you are a faculty or staff member of Hopper Middle Schools, please stand to be recognized. Our next bronze level recipient is Bridgeland High School. This is Bridgeland's first time to be recognized for this award, and Bridgeland is represented by Principal Mike Smith. If you are a faculty or staff member of Bridgeland High School, please stand so that we may recognize you. Our next bronze level recipient is Cypress Lakes High School. And this is Cypress Lake's second time to be recognized, and Principal Sarah Hardy is representing Cypress Lakes. If you are a faculty or staff member of Cypress Lakes High School, please stand and be recognized. Our next recipient under this level is Cypress Ridge High School. And this is Cypress Ridge's second time to be recognized. Cypress Ridge is being represented by Associate Principal Emily Francis. If you are a faculty or staff member of Cypress Ridge High School, please stand so that we may recognize you. And our final honoree under the bronze level is Cypress Springs High School. This is Cypress Springs' fourth time to be recognized. Cypress Springs is represented by Principal Cheryl Henry. If you are a faculty member or staff member of Cypress Springs High School, please stand to be recognized. Please join me in giving the bronze level Superintendent Incremental Growth Award awardees another round of applause. At the silver level, campuses must show growth in the economically disadvantaged group and the African American or Hispanic group. So our first recipient is Black Elementary. This is Black's first time to be recognized, and Black is represented by Principal Kyla Moat. If you are a faculty member or staff member of Black Elementary, please stand so that we may recognize you. And Cypress Park High School. This is Cypress Park's second time to be recognized, and Cy Park is represented by Principal Chris Hecker. If you are a faculty or staff member of Cypress Park High School, please stand to be recognized. Please join me in congratulating our silver level schools. And finally, at the goal level, as I mentioned, campuses must show growth in all of the three areas: economically disadvantaged, African American, and Hispanic student groups. Our first recipient is Cypress Creek High School. This is Cypress Creek's second time to be recognized, and Cy Creek is represented by Principal Vicki Snookhouse. If you are a faculty member or staff member of Cy Creek, please stand to be recognized. Our next gold level recipient is Cypress Ranch High School. This is Cypress Ranch's third time to be recognized. Cy Ranch is represented by Principal Mike Manis. If you are a faculty or staff member of Cypress Ranch High School, please stand to be recognized. And our final recipient of the Gold Level Superintendent Incremental Growth Award is Langham Creek High School. And this is Langham Creek's first time to be recognized. Langham Creek is being represented by Principal Dave Hughes. If you are a faculty or staff member of Langham Creek, please stand to be recognized. Please join me one more time in congratulating all of our campuses. Thank you.
Hey, this is great. What a great night to see all the progress that's happening all across this district. And congratulations to all you principals and schools. And don't go anywhere. We want you to hear the superintendent's briefing, and then after that, we'll take a break so we can shake your hands.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. Cypress-Fairbanks ISD received a rating of superior by TEA's Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas, marking the 17th consecutive top rating for CFISD. The School First Accountability Rating System assigns financial ratings to Texas school districts with the highest rating being superior. The Cy-Fair Educational Foundation held its 22nd annual Salute to the Stars Gala in honor of Cypress-Fairbanks ISD's 2018-19 Teacher of the Year honorees on October 17th. At the Berry Center, the CFEF presented the district a check for over $99,000 for innovative staff development programs. The Bridgeland High School Marching Band was named the grand champion for the second consecutive year at the 5th Annual Battle of the Berry Marching Band Competition held on October 12th at Cy-Fair FCU Stadium. Hosted by the Jersey Village High School Marching Band, the Battle of the Berry welcomed 19 bands from across the Houston area, competing in 4 different classifications based on marching band size. The Bridgeland High School Girls Cross Country team clinched its second consecutive district title, while the Bridgeland Boys Cross Country team won its first title at the District 14 6A Cross Country Championships. And I can tell you, because I don't think I have it anywhere on here, the Bridgeland girls team finished 8th in the state this past Saturday, so we're really proud of that program there at Bridgeland. Bridgeland High School reached the team tennis Class 6A area round, concluding the season for CFISD with the appearance in the second round to go along with the District 14 6A championship. Cypress Ranch, Cypress Woods, Cy-Fair, and Cypress Falls high schools concluded their seasons and finished as by-district finalists. In volleyball, the season ended with 5 CFISD teams qualifying for UIL playoffs: Bridgeland, Langham Creek, Cy-Fair, Cy Falls, and Cy Creek. Bridgeland High School won the 14 6A district championship, while Cy-Fair High School claimed the 17 6A district championship for the second year in a row. And I know this for a fact: Cy-Fair High School volleyball girls are still in the playoffs, and they'll play in the third round of the state playoffs tomorrow. Cypress-Fairbanks ISD, through the Department of Psychological Services and the Guidance and Counseling Department, received a Bronze Recognition Award at the Center for School Behavioral Health's annual conference. The program, which was started by Mental Health America of Greater Houston, allows school districts across the Greater Houston area to come together and collaborate on ideas and best practices through the Center Collaborative and Learning Community subprograms. Thank you, Dr. Ogletree.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. We'll now take a 5-minute break. public comments portion of our agenda. Patrons who have duly registered per policy BED local may address the board and make public comments on an agenda item before the board's consideration. I don't think we have no
We
one
have
to
some
sign up for
citizen
that.
participation.
All right. We'll now proceed with the board comments. Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comments may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this meeting. All right, board members. All right, Deb.
Just quickly, just want to comment. Today I attended Swinky Elementary's Veterans Day celebration, and it was really amazing. It was so great to see a phenomenal outturn of veterans that were present there, and we even had our principal, Dr. Liz Miller. Her brother is Vice Admiral of the U.S. Navy in Washington, D.C., and even flew in to be present and to speak to the group. And it was just a wonderful way of recognizing and celebrating our veterans. And I just appreciate the opportunity to participate today.
All right. Tom?
The month since the last board meeting has been fast and furious. A couple of observations. The average lifespan of a U.S. S&P 500 company in the last 80 years has dropped from 67 years to 15, according to the Harvard Business Review. At a recent international management seminar, the question was posed, what are the characteristics of a company that has survived for 100 years? The common characteristics are these: invest in people and building great culture, taking a long-term view, customers being at the heart of business decisions, continuous innovation, and collaboration. Reinventing yourself is about adopting new practices and new processes. This is exactly what Cypress-Fairbanks has done over the last 30 years and is continuing to do under the current leadership of Dr. Mark Henry. My school visits included stops at Cypress Ridge, Cypress Springs, Hair Grove, and Lowry, and I, along with several of my colleagues, gave half a day when Leadership TASB came at the Cypress Lakes. My takeaways: the Culinary 2 facility and course rollout is exciting and comes with a campus cafe. I can't wait to go there to try it out. The Hunch program at both Springs and Lakes continue to be a dynamic game changer for our students, where products they design and manufacture can find their way on the International Space Station, and this program too is expanding to other campuses. The ARC program at Springs, although it's in its infancy, holds great promise in the near future. Talk about building 5-foot-tall robots, not your standard STEM Academy concept. Each of these campuses have their own approach to providing equitable opportunity for all students. With Leadership TASB, we heard from Lone Star College that the college academy approach of Cy-Fair is one of a kind in the state of Texas. A couple of other observations. In this time of school choice mixed with neighborhood schools, this team of 8 must be sensitive to potential perception drain and encourage senior management to address this occurrence, should it happen. The educational ecosystem may be sensitive to intrusive change introduced by new programs or key personnel changes. And once again, we encourage senior management to monitor this. And definitely a tip of the hat to our veterans, the families of veterans everywhere, but also to the campuses across this great district. I stopped at both Feast and Lowry, as I always do, and it was magnificent. Both were full of veterans and their families. And it's very appropriate that Veterans Day comes right after Election Day, because with veterans, they guarantee our right to vote, but also guarantee the right for our children to have a free and public education. So thank you, veterans, a tip of the hat.
Bob?
Each of my fellow trustees and myself get the opportunity to visit campuses each year, and as a result, I always feel that decisions that we make are more founded in fact than innuendo, and it makes me more comfortable in making those decisions. The past couple of weeks, I've had the honor and opportunity to visit Cyfair High School, where Anna Martin is principal, visiting classrooms, the choir, athletics, and once again, seeing kids more engaged than I could possibly remember. Adam Elementary, Stephanie Thomas is principal and relatively new to the position. This is where my wife began her Cyfair teaching career and has recently been renovated, and most pleased to see how they kept much of the old but made it new and up to date. At Black Elementary and Kylemote, in the midst of field day and a beautiful day as well, so much fun to visit classrooms, talk to students on their projects, and meet many of the teachers. A visit to the music department and being serenaded by the third grade students getting ready for a concert. At the Carlton Center and Rhonda Turin, such a welcoming, warm place. It was much fun to visit the classrooms and to hear from our students as they told me about their off-campus jobs in grocery stores and restaurants and seeing the pride they feel. A new fact that I learned and had not known before, even though it is not a new program, is that the Carlton Center Psychology Department trains interns working on their doctorals. They only take approximately 20, and they have over 80 applications from all over the U.S. What an amazing program, one that indicates how advanced and successful our programs for our challenged youth is across the USA. It also gives us an opportunity to look at people that are becoming psychologists and a first opportunity to hire them. Lambkin Elementary and Gale Parker, it's always enjoyable to visit Lambkin, which was the last place my wife worked in CFISD. Such an amazing success at Lambkin and wonderful students. Again, an older school that has been renovated and turned into a brand new school. Spillane Middle School and Jamie Brookmarkle were part of a very special surprise visit that I'd asked Jamie to help. One of our new APs at Spillane, Trey Watkins, was the spotlight of the surprise with a visit from his mom and dad. Trey's mother and I both serve on the TASB Board of Directors, and Mildred Watkins is a retired principal and serves on the board of La Vega outside of Waco. They thoroughly enjoyed their visit there. Of course, we're extremely proud of their son and extremely impressed with how much our kids were involved in their learning. And it was something that was very prideful. It was a great tour, and the engagement of the students is just ongoing. Last but certainly not least, Leadership TASB Association of the School Boards is a remarkable program that is offering through the Texas Association of School Boards a year-long commitment to study, research, and visit educational communities. Dr. Ogletree was a graduate in 2013, Tom Jackson in 2015 or 16, did we ever decide? 16, and myself in 2011. The 2020 class had asked to come into the Houston area and wanted to visit Cyfair, and we chose Cy Lakes, where they could visit a number of successful programs, including our new arrival center, the College Academy, and our career and technology education classes. I am so thankful to Sarah Hardy and her staff for making the visit so special and informative. A special shout out and thank you to Kenya Turner for the organizations, to the Cy Lake students who were our tour guides, and to our culinary arts students for an amazing lunch. Cyfair is truly a wonderful place of diversity, many, many choices, and most of all, opportunity for all. I told you.
That's Julie.
Well, as a brand new baby board or brand new baby trustee, I finally got a chance to start my school visits. So I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to share. I had the privilege of visiting Hoover Elementary School, Francone Elementary, Joel and Horn Elementary Schools just today, Salyards Middle School, and Langham Creek High School so far. I also had a chance to watch a couple of the one-act plays with our middle school, the UIL competition that just recently took place, and did some early Christmas shopping at the Langham Creek High School FFA craft show. I popped into the Francone Fall Festival, which was a wonderful opportunity for families to get together at the school on the weekend, and also attended several marching band contests and football games with my own kiddos. I also had a chance to participate with the police department's induction for their new class of Explorers, which is a fantastic program for high school students interested in careers in law enforcement. What I observed is that all of our schools have unique and special cultures, but they all share the same focus on educating all of our students. Principals, support staff, teachers are all pour their hearts truly into all of our students. And while we must focus on high-stakes standardized test scores because the state accountability system is flawfully designed, I made that word up, but I thought I liked it, flawfully designed. We know that our schools are so much more than just test scores. So I'm thrilled to be able to start these visits and look forward to many more. Thank you.
Julie, you're going to be a great asset. We like those new words. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I thought it was a cuss word at first, but I guess it's not. That's how I'd use it. I'm going to tell you that.
All right, Don.
The only thing I want to say is last month we congratulated Bob on his new TASB officer position, but that meant that Bob had to step down from his board position with Gulf Coast. And so, Bob, thank you for your service there. You're everywhere. You're flawfully amazing. And then the last thing I want to say is our newly elected trustee, Gilbert Sarabia, is here, and he is also a veteran. So, Gilbert, thank you for your service. I look forward to having you on the team.
I just want to add that on Sunday at 5 o'clock, I was at the Tallowood Baptist Church for the presentation of our choirs from our district. And the talent in this district is just amazing. Of course, I have personal concern there, supporting my granddaughter, Adea, at Cypress Ranch. But to see all those kids there in the range of singing presentations and the voice range, and just it was just tremendous on a Sunday evening. And I could not help but think about, in just a little while, we will have our own Performing Arts Center, and we will not have to borrow or go off-site and create such a challenge and hardship of our parents as well as students, and we'll be able to have our own. And so we thank the team for planning that, and we look forward to that being constructed, and thank all of our citizens for approving that bond. We've just got something to look forward to, and it'll just be in a little while. Let's see, the citizen participation portion of our agenda is at 4A. Patrons who duly registered per policy BED local may address the board regarding matters of concern and interest in the district other than the character of any student, staff, or board member. The board may not act upon any matter that is not listed under the action item portion of the agenda. And we have first Lyndon Hatcher. would you come forward? And Mr. Hatcher, you have 2 minutes to speak. And once you begin, right there, once you begin your presentation, the green light will come on. And when you have 30 seconds left, the yellow light will come on. And when the red light comes on, please conclude your presentation.
Yes, sir. Okay, good evening to everyone. Reverend Dr. Ogletree, board, and Dr. Henry. I'm here just this evening as a parent and a community member to address the issue that has I experienced, my daughter experienced at Pridgeon Stadium when we was at a high school football game. She fell unbeknownst to me because she was with her friends and she had to seek medical attention. So, but when I got to the stadium, I noticed that there was no handrails down the aisles at the stadium. And last year I spoke with the athletic director about the separation of the district as the Eastern District and the Western District. My children went to go to Cy Falls, so we in the Eastern District, and they utilized the Pridgeon Stadium for their home football games and district games. And so I was asking them, and we voted on a bond to retrofit and renovate Pridgeon. And so I never been to Pridgeon after it was renovated until this season. And so when I went there, I noticed that there's no handrails, concrete steps. And so this year I spoke with the gentleman's chief operating officer, and he said that it's not in the budget to retrofit it's not practical, it's not feasible to install handrails, but it meets the Americans with Disability Act's criteria. And last year, and when we voted on the bond to upgrade and retrofit and renovate Pridgeon, it was to my understanding that it was going to be brought up to grade, not to the caliber of a Berry Center. And so there's been numerous bonds that we passed, and that I don't see the number of deaths that happens at facilities from people 15 and under and teenagers that fall and trip and slip because of no handrails and poorly built and structured bleachers. I think should be at least looked at upon the feasibility of child safety.
Thank you, Mr. Hatcher. We've got it. Thank you for coming and sharing that with us. Our next speaker is State Representative John Rosenthal.
Thank you, President Ogletree, Superintendent Henry. Thank y'all for always allowing me to come and talk to our assembled board today. I'm just here first to thank you all for the great job that you do. I think I'm allowed to speak highly of the character of our board, and that translates to our entire school district. So my name's John Rosenthal. I'm the Texas State Representative for House District 135. We're right in the middle of the district. I'm blessed to have only one school district, and it happens to be the finest one in the state. So I'm really happy to be here. My office is right down the road. I'm here for you guys. And really, so I take meetings with constituents, with anybody who wants to meet. Really, I wanted to comment today about Veterans Day. Veterans Day started as Armistice Day to celebrate the ending of world hostilities for World War I. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, 1918 was when hostilities ended. And we had a beautiful ceremony in town this morning to give our thanks to our military. We all know that freedom is not free, and that we all owe them a huge debt of gratitude. We have any military left in here today? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Just one. Thank you, Gilbert. Appreciate your service and for keeping us free and providing us the opportunity to have institutions like this. We couldn't do it without our military. So I just came to give my thanks. speak to the group on Veterans Day. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We're now at the reports and public hearing portion of our agenda. Well, that was presented Thursday. So we'll now proceed with the discussion portion of our agenda. The board will discuss the establishment of attendance boundaries for Rowe Middle School and rezoning modifications of multiple campus attendance boundaries for 2020 to 2021 school year. Christie.
Good evening, everyone. Here we are again planning for and opening up a brand new middle school in Cy-Fair. Harold Rowe Middle School will open up next fall, right next to Cypress Park High School. It's a very exciting time for community when a brand new school is going to open. Tonight, I'm going to go over a detailed presentation to explain the proposed boundary changes for Cy-Fair Independent School District for the 2021 school year as a result of opening Rowe Middle School in the fall. Our proposal includes a very conservative approach and only affects 4 middle schools in the south side of the district. Our plan will offer much needed relief to 2 of those 4 middle schools while populating Rowe. Also included our plan are 2 additional proposed amendments, 1 small high school boundary change or recommendation to clean up a little feeder pattern as a result of these changes, and then kind of a boundary line cleanup as a result of apartment complex that's being built, and then another brand new community that's popped up on the west side. Inside your packet, you have the entire PowerPoint presentation, which includes many maps to help explain this proposal. I've also included a res code chart. It looks like the cardstock page like this, and you can, when you want to know how many students are in each res code, I'll say it, but it's also on this chart, so you can look at it there. Compared to past boundary proposals, this one's not that complicated. It still has a lot of information, so at any time if you need me to stop or you need to ask questions or kind of get your bearings on the map, just holler and I'll stop and explain anything you have. And if you're ready, we will get started. Okay, Joel. There we go. Just like we've done in the past, a boundary committee was formed in early August to start looking at options for opening Rowe Middle School. The following people were on the committee. As you can see, there were representatives from the superintendent's office, transportation, special programs, the accountability department, student services, athletic department, assistant superintendents over all 3 levels of administration, and of course the Office of Planning Services. In addition to this list, we consulted with PASA on each of the final recommendations. Here's the timeline that we would like to follow. The committee started earlier this year and met more frequently. We hope that you like this option that you see tonight, and tomorrow we'll put this presentation on the CFIC website and open up several different links so that we can get input from the community. And for the rest of this month and up until the board meeting in December 16th, we will collect the feedback, send to you, all the board members, every Friday. Planning Services will read all of the comments and responses and take into consideration all the suggestions and our concerns. We'll share these with the committee and prepare in December to discuss all the input for the community and, if need be, take action and any adjustments that the board would like us to make. According to this timeline, the committee would like to make this final recommendation at the December board meeting if possible. This would allow us to start early projections a little bit sooner this year than we normally do. Okay. When looking at attendance boundary changes to populated school, we consider the following. We have campus feeder systems, community neighborhoods, enrollment projections, geographical proximity of students to schools, input from the community, location of thoroughfares, creeks, easements, and other structures. We try to minimize all these changes, and school capacities. I also want to remind you that although we do not have a set date for the opening of Middle School 20 in Bridgeland, Middle School 20 definitely shaped our proposal with a more conservative approach. We don't want to move kids twice, and we don't want to move kids just to move kids. Okay. This chart is projected residents for all middle schools in the district if we don't open any schools in the next 5 years. I want to explain these columns a little bit further. I think I took a little time with the principals, and I think it helps them understand these numbers on this chart. So next to the schools, the permanent capacity for the building without portables. The next column is passes projected enrollment for this school year, 2019-2020. The projected enrollment not only includes residents in that attendance zone, it also includes transfers in and transfer out. Also, the actual projected enrollment includes all the programs, and this is the passes predicted number that they think it's going to be on that snapshot date, October 25th. Okay, so that's what they predicted October 25th to be in that column right there. And the numbers in the red column are the actual snapshot numbers for the all middle schools for October 25th, around 2 weeks ago. So you can look and see how close they were or how close they weren't. And if you can look at that projected and see and kind of do in your head, if you were a little low on the snapshot, then the rest of the numbers are going to be low going across. If we're over projected, then the rest of the numbers also are going to be over projected. So you can add across or you can subtract all the way across depending on how they did. Okay. And the projected resident students in the 6 through 8, the next 5 columns, those are if you were to take a lasso and draw it around only the attendance boundary of each one of those schools. It's not including any transfers in, any transfers out, only the residents in that attendance zone. So that's why the number's a little bit lower, too. I want you to look at particularly Anthony, Smith, and Thornton. For all 3 of these schools, they are currently over their projection, anywhere from 24 to 71 students. So all numbers to the right will also be a little bit low. We need to provide immediate relief to Anthony and Thornton. Oops, too far. Okay. These are our current boundary lines for all middle schools. The red stars are the new middle schools in the future. The star next to Hopper in the bottom southwest corner is Middle School 19, also known as Rowe Middle School. The committee's goal was to populate Rowe Middle School and at the same time relieve Thornton and Anthony. If you remember, the third school that needed relief was Smith Middle School. Smith is right on the edge of Anthony and Hopper, and we plan on relieving Smith when we open Middle School 20. So it's right on the edge of where we're populating Rowe Middle School 19. Okay, this is what PASA projected this year's building usage to be. It's very close to what it actually is, maybe 1 or 2 percentage points, but that's what they predicted it to be. I want you to focus on Anthony and Hopper. So if you look at Anthony and Hopper, Kayla and Thornton, only the southwest portion of the district, Rowe is being built in the middle of the Hopper attendance boundary. It makes perfect sense for Rowe to be primarily Hopper and Thornton students, and we're going to take a little bit of Kayla and we'll show you why. But it makes total sense for it to be just Hopper and Thornton. Also makes sense to pull from Anthony because they're also they need some relief, and to give a little back to Hopper and to Kayla. If we selected students in the Watkins zone, it complicated feeder patterns, and we also didn't want to touch Smith just yet as a result of waiting for Middle School 20 in the future. So after looking at a half dozen options, we came up with the following recommendation changes to populate Rowe Middle. Like in the past, for each proposed change, I'm going to show you a current map next to a proposed map, a map with the res codes listed, and then finally our street land usage map so you can see all the streets and communities that surround that we're recommending for the change. Okay. All right, so the very first one, let's start with Thornton. We're offering a much needed relief for Thornton. I think the other day they were 1931. There are 8 res codes that we would like to move to Rowe. This area is approximately 405 students. These are current 5th through 7th graders right now in those res codes. So next year they would be 6th through 8th. Okay. All right, and those res codes, those 8 are Ellison. Again, we can read them off. Ellison, which currently has 0 students. It's the west side of the district. Lantana has 1 student, 1 to 6, depends on the day. Jasmine Heights is 152. Bear Creek Glen, 26. Eagle Ranch West South is 34 students. Westfield Village, 114. And the villages of Bear Creek, regular and north, are 41 and 37, with totaling that 405 students. And again, on that chart, you can also look and see the ones from Thornton to Rowe. And divide it. Okay, and this is the land usage map. You can see the major thoroughfares in the land usage map. Just a reminder, according to PASA, the blue areas are all the built-out areas. The green are still developing. The white is all commercial, and the beige is undecided yet. They're nothing yet.
We have a question.
Sure.
Just because I've been by there and seen it, Ellison, is that a pretty big development?
It's planned to be really, really big. Right now, they've only built in the Katy part of it, is my understanding.
Okay, so that community will be split between us and Katy ISD?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions regarding Thornton to Rowe? We can always come back.
Christy, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Just back on that Thornton to Rowe and where the Grand Parkway is. So if you go down 529, that part, the beige part, that's going to be coming to us? Or is that?
Yes, Landmark Industries, yes. Right
Okay.
now, the development of Landmark Industries and Lantana is being developed currently and fast growing.
She's talking about west.
On the west of the
Oh.
Grand Parkway,
Or not
that's
west, north,
That,
west.
west.
West
all
Grand
of that is Ellison, yes.
Okay, but are they coming to us or are they Katy?
Yes.
That will come to
That
us?
is, yes, sir.
And so how far down 529 do we go? Is there a road that's there or what's
We
the?
stop at that peak on the far left. Peak Road on the far left. It's
Okay,
kind of covered up by the
okay.
red,
Okay, I'm
but
sorry.
it's Peak
Okay.
Road.
Okay, wow, okay, yeah.
We don't go west of
We go
Peak,
further.
though, because
No.
that's Peyto.
Right, this
That's
is,
Katy.
this is the line in the bottom southwest corner of our whole district map.
Right.
Can go, there we go. You can see that. See where Beckendorf and Peak Road on the far left side? I don't think it shows up on a TV if I do a laser. No.
Okay.
So we just pick that up and put it right on that piece of paper, kind of where the land usage is kind of the best idea of what is actually development for houses so far
Yeah.
versus
Yeah. Well, 'cause
commercial
I
and
they're building
unknown.
houses here. There's no houses. No, but they're doing the infrastructure.
Okay, the next is, okay, go ahead.
I just want to make sure I'm reading what you have. So that total number from Thornton to Rowe is 405.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Next, we have Hopper to Rowe. This is also 9 res codes with approximately 525 kids. Again, we're plopping Rowe right in the middle of the Hopper, land. And there's, right by there is where Cy Park is, all of the people live in the bottom southwest part of the now Rowe attendance. So they will be moving west, but as of right now, all 525 kids are coming in that bottom southeast part of what is the Rowe boundary line. Okay? And those 9 res codes are Settlers Village South, there's 23 kids. Cypress Oaks is 41 students. McGill, right now, there's 0. Highland Creek Ranch is 146. Lakeville is 112. Bear Creek Meadows West is 60. Eagle Ranch West is 35. Freeman Douglas right now is also 0. Settlers Village 108, totaling 525 students. Okay, so 405 from Thornton and then 525 from Hopper. And this is their land uses. That's what I was talking about. You see right with the stars and West Green is where we have our campuses. But the bottom right area, all the blue, with the exception of one subdivision to the right of West Green that's, already almost finished. That's all 525 students are coming just from that bottom southeast corner of Hopper, of now to be Rowe. Okay.
And then what's the size of McGill and Freeman Douglas? Because if they're at 0 now, is those relatively new developments?
What I can share is that I know that they were recently purchased, and the plan is to be community homes. Okay, next, Kayla to Rowe. So this is the last one to Rowe. There's 178 students. These students also will attend park, and you'll kind of see in a minute why we shifted these students all right below Hopper and part of Kayla. We wanted to clean up some of the feeder too, and we couldn't go south of that because that was Watkins and that was Cy Lakes. So we wanted to keep everything aligned in with the feeder patterns. So it was beneficial to include Kayla to our proposal. We have Rose Code 46 Bear Creek Meadows. There's 78 students in there. 642 Rose Code Bear Creek Meadows is also 55 students. And Bear Creek Plantation, there's 2 sections that are split between the schools. 45 students with 178 total. This little area, there's ALC West, Joel, and Hoover right in the middle of those 3 Bear Creek, all neighborhoods with Bear Creek in the front of it. And they're all built out as well. So those 3 shifts right there populate Rowe Middle School for 2021 is what we're recommending. And since we pulled from Hopper and Kayla, we also need to relieve Anthony. So we're going to pull from Anthony and give to Hopper and Kayla. So the very first one is Anthony to Hopper. This is 374 students. This is 2 res codes. And this is Yopon Ranch. And Remington Grove. Yopon Ranch has 246 students, and Remington Grove has 128 students. And the land usage map there, this is between Fry and Barker Cypress, right on top of Greenhouse, with Loggenbow and 529 being the north and south borders. Okay, and the last.
Christy, could you go over again? The Kayla to Rowe, this what you just presented to us, what's the target? How many students are you looking to move from that section?
From Kayla to Rowe, there were, hold on.
178.
178.
178? The transportation from that section to Rowe, because the timing and everything, you all looked at that.
We
Plus,
had
you're cutting through-
transportation was a part of our committee, and they shared that Rowe would be a tier 2 school, being right next to Cy Park. And that area already in the high school level, 9 through 12, is already traveling to Cy Park. So now they will travel to Rowe. They're used to that journey.
Okay.
And with this, you've got all of Rowe will go to Park, correct? Okay.
Yes. Well, in the very end, yes. That's our recommendation. We'll make one little adjustment in the end, but just to make that happen, yes. Okay, Anthony to Hopper. That was the Remington Grove and the Yopon Ranch, 374 students. Are there any questions on that one? This is the land usage map for that one. I don't want to go too fast, so.
Is that? Is that? Man, I can't see.
It's, the
Wait.
south border is 529 to Longenbao, and it's between Fry and Barker.
Oh, okay, okay.
We're fixing to move a little
Right.
bit to the east of that and grab some more kids and give them to Kayla.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, Anthony to Kayla. This is 307 students. This is 3 different res codes. We have res code 94, Westgate, west of the creek. There's 41 students. And then we have Westgate, west of Barker Cypress, is 190. And then Paddock, it's 76 students with a total of 307 students. And you can see the border here is 529 and Barker Cypress and Longenbao. So we just took the most southern part of Anthony and divided it into those 5 res codes, 2 going to Kayla and, 2 going to Hopper and 3 going to Kayla. Okay. With those 5 shifts, we have the following projected residents for the next 5 years. Keep in mind, these are residents only. These aren't transfers. Also, these schools were a little bit under projected, so these projections are also a little bit lower. We'll have new numbers in the spring that's going to more accurately reflect actual projected enrollment based off all the new developments and this year's snapshot numbers versus the last year's snapshot numbers. This option is moving approximately 1,789 total students. The committee feels this is a very reasonable number as a result of opening up a middle school. It's a pretty close to a number of what a middle school's capacity is. We're not moving an excessive number of students, and it's right about the same number of students that would attend a middle school, a high number middle school, but again, a very reasonable number. They were the more balanced, the most balanced that we have. I know, you know, the amount of students that we took from Anthony and how quickly it still climbs back up. You may see a decline in a couple of schools, but again, those schools will be affected with middle school 20, and we're very confident that those numbers will change when middle school 20 opens. Okay, so when we did this, and then we looked at a picture as if it was, we pretended it was complete. This is your question, Mr. Ryan. We have the result of the middle school recommendations, which are on this map. We noticed that one thing that stood out when it came to the feeder patterns, the colored areas represent the middle school colors. Okay, so the middle school colors. And then the red lines represent the high school lines in those areas. So that's Cy Park's attendance zone. If you could tell, it has one little res code of Hopper of 604. The rest is Rowe, and then they have some of Thornton. And then you see Cy Springs is Anthony, almost all of Hopper, a little bit of Kayla, and a little bit also of Thornton. So when we looked at this, the committee decided to change one and only one res code for a high school boundary change, and that would be res code 604. And one good thing is it's right in the backyard of Cy Springs. So there are currently 160 students in res code 604. it's 53 eighth graders. So next year, our recommendation would be that those fifth graders start Cy Springs next year. And every year, it's about 50-something students, roughly, that would start attending Cypress Springs instead of Cypress Park. And that would make Rowe a pure feeder to Cy Park, and it would make Hopper a pure feeder to Cy Springs. And if you see down, if you look to the far little right finger that sticks out for Cy Park's attendance zone, the areas where we took from Hopper and the areas where we took from Kayla, it kind of makes sense why we took those areas now, because those are areas that all go to Cypress Park High School. So before, they were going to Kayla and then Cy Park. And now none of Kayla will go to Cy Park. And again, none of Hopper will go to Cy Park. So we really cleaned up feeder patterns and populated at the same time. It's just that's where all the students are right now, but there's planned developments in that west side, like Lantana, like McGill, like Landmark Industries, that will start.
Starting next year then, 604, we would have going to Springs.
Right. The recommendation would be about 53 eighth graders right now currently. Instead of going to Cy Park, they would go to Cy Springs. And then every year after that, obviously.
The current ninth graders, 9 through 12, would remain at Cy Park.
Mm-hmm.
We would not move the ones that have already started at Cy Park.
Right.
Only the incoming ninth graders would be rezoned from Park to Springs.
And then we would do what we usually do with siblings in some of those cases? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. The 604 students, the eighth grade, have a sibling, and it's going to be in the 10th, 11th, or 12th grade next year. If they have a sibling that goes to Cy Park, they are allowed to have a sibling transfer to Cy Park instead of attending Cypress Springs. We'll talk about all three of those in just one second. So on this map, again, there's the current where it kind of stands out. 604 is Hopper, and there goes to Cy Park, and then our proposed is it would actually go to Hopper and then Cypress Springs. Okay. And with that recommendation, here are the numbers for Cypress Park and Cypress Springs for the next 5 years. Again, these are residents only, so it's hard, but roughly right now would be about 50 to 55 students every year, anywhere between 40 to 60 on bypasses numbers on residents only. Okay. So here's our two kind of, I call them line cleanup with elementary students, or elementary schools lines. Again, on the far west side of the district, next to the Grand Parkway. We talked about the subdivision Lantana. It's res code 278. We started this, I don't think anyone was in that res code. Then there was one, and now we've heard there's 6. But that line that comes down north to south, right next to the word Walker on the left in the beige area, that is Lantana, and it is growing really, really fast. That area right now currently goes, this is a great, great recommendation from the Transportation Department. They currently go all the way down 529, down to Fry Road, and then they take Whistle York to Hemingway. Where now, if we approve this recommendation, they can take 529, turn on Settlers Village, and just go straight to Walker. So this was, again, there wasn't a development. Now there is a development, and it just makes sense for that entire section to go to Walker Elementary. Again, this kind of shows the land usage. It's the creek runs straight through where that diagonal line cuts through Lantana, and then the very bottom is again, a not developed communities. Vincent Bustamante, they say nothing for 5 to 6 years at least, but you never know. Right now, it's just Lantana. And it is growing fast, and again, transportation, great recommendation from them to go 529 to Settlers Village and go straight to Walker Elementary instead of going all the way to Hemingway. And while it's new and developing, it's the perfect time. So with those numbers, again, we're recommending them to attend Walker. It's a much shorter commute. Lantana is the fastest growing area, and it makes the numbers more balanced with Lantana being a fast growing community. They both have the same capacities, and Walker is, well below them right now, but they will catch up with this one community.
Christy, next to Lantana is the area that says Landmark Industries. I noticed they're on both sides of 529. What is that? Is that a neighborhood or is it commercial?
It is just recently going to be told of this. It's going to be a community with homes and commercial.
And just for your information, it's about 1,000 acres. So it's going to be a big commercial / residential area. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, those numbers. Okay, then we also have kind of a development that Res Code 133. This was going to be a community for retired people, and now it's going to be for younger individuals. This development is Res Code 133. They predict there to be 25 students in the fall. It's right next to, it's called hold on. I always forget this name. Sorry, Green Meadow Apartments, which currently has 63 students in it. There's a little stop and go in the little corner of it. But as a result of this new development, we would like, and being diagonally across from Tips Elementary, we would like to take that little pink section of 133 and 3555 and move them to Tips. So currently they go to Wilson, and as a result, and seeing this new development, we would like to add them to the Tips page. And again, maybe 25 students in the fall, 63 in Green Meadows, totaling 88 students. Tips, that's kind of a better view. You can kind of see what surrounds. And then you look at those numbers also, balances those numbers. Wilson is a smaller school, smaller capacity. Tips has the room. And those are the projected numbers for the next 5 years for that suggestion or that recommendation. That's it. See? So we have Thornton to Row, we have Hopper to Row, and we have Kayla to Row. This is what the new map would look like if approved. And then you have the southern portion of Anthony, now going to Hopper and Kayla. So these are the proposed middle school changes. And then we have the two kind of line changes as a result of the new development with Lantana and the new Esperanza apartments and the Wilson and Tips. And then not included, we have at 604 was the boundary change as a result of making the feeder patterns aligned. Yes, regarding boundaries, so this would be any fourth grader, at Hemingway that wanted to stay at Hemingway instead of going to Walker, or a fourth grader at Wilson didn't want to go to Tips. When we talk about elementary students that would be affected, fifth graders next year, so fourth graders now, may remain at their current elementary school on a student transfer if the parents provide transportation, and this opportunity is not available for siblings, younger siblings. Okay, and a reminder of the middle school, it's the same thing. These are the current seventh graders, so this would be all of the middle school changes that we are recommending. Again, they remain at their current campus middle school on a student transfer if their parents provide transportation. The opportunity also is not available for the younger siblings. And then we shared a while ago, if a student, the 8th graders, the 50 through 8th graders that we're recommending from Res Code 604 to now attend Cypress Springs, if they have an older sibling next year that would be in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade at Cypress Park, they would be eligible for a sibling boundary transfer and attend with their older sibling. And would be eligible for UIL remainder of the entire time that they're there. As far as informing the community, starting tomorrow, all of this information will be available on the district website. There'll be links for the communities for each of the school affected, labeled Thornton to Road, Kayla to Road, all those will be listed and they can provide input. School messenger phone calls, key communicator, newsletter, district websites, campus websites. When we have the portal, it looks like this, and they click on the appropriate link and they just type away. And every week, as I shared earlier, we will send a summary of all of those to you, that you'll see actual, what they actually put on their input. And we will go through each one of them and look at all the suggestions, and we will come back and share a summary of all of the suggestions, and then accept any other suggestions or input that you have, and look at those for our final proposal.
All right, thank you. And a lot of hard work, and your presentation was very comprehensive and detailed. Thank you for your very conservative approach to this, and we'll get this looked at.
I do like that y'all have decided to wait on Smith to where we're not having, because we have had some issues in the past of multiple moves and back-to-back years that we didn't really, in hindsight, we didn't have to do and probably shouldn't have done. So I think that's a great move and decision by y'all on that. And Smith can handle the capacity, Teresa, right? I mean, they're...
Smith is still good at this point in time, yes.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Thank you. We'll now go to the action item consensus portion of our agenda. The board will consider approving the tax refunds of $500 or greater for Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. 8B, the board will consider approving the minutes of the October 7th, 2019 regular board meeting. The following non-consensus action items will move to the consensus agenda during the board work session on Thursday, November 7th. 9A, the board will consider approving the district's 2019 comprehensive annual financial report and single audit report, and accept the auditor's report on the district's general purpose financial statements and single audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2019. 9B, the board will consider approving the budget amendments for the period of July 1, 2019 through September 30th, 2019. 9D, the board will consider approving construction proposals and contracts paid from bond funds to the recommended contractor and authorize the superintendent or designee to execute all necessary documents related to such contracts as follows, and they are 2019 Hopper Salyers Smith Middle School renovations, 2019 renovations to Falcon Annex facilities, maintenance and operations buildings, 2019 Telge Ag, Eldridge Ag, Science Resource Center and Exhibit. 9E, the board will consider approving the granting of a waterline easement and temporary construction easements to the North Harris County Regional Water Authority, located on the north and east property lines of Blau Middle School, and authorizes the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final terms and execute all related documents. If any board member wishes to remove one or more items for further discussion, please do so at this time. If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the consensus items as recommended or amended.
Dr. Ogletree, I move that the board approve the consensus items as presented.
I second.
Julie.
Julie is in the house. Woo! We should probably take another 5-minute break.
All those in favor, would you please raise your right hands? Thank you. Thank you. Let's see, where was I? I got so excited. Nancy. Nancy. The board will consider awarding bids and contracts and or authorizing purchase orders as recommended to the posted agenda item. They are 1, assorted food for nutrition services, fall 2019. 2, college readiness and career interest tests. 3, restaurant catering and delivery services. And 4, spirit apparel and promotion items. This is item that, Debbie, you're going to abstain from.
That's correct. I will be abstaining from voting as my son is employed as a EVP at Jake's Finer Foods.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Hey, woo, wore yourself out, didn't you?
Okay. I move that the
Darcy.
board approve the awarding of contracts and bids and/or authorizing purchase orders as recommended in the agenda item.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor, please say. Oh, raise your right hand. I was trying to say hi. We'll do that next time. Okay. All right, 9F, the board will consider approving the targeted improvement plans for Bain Elementary and Francone. May I have a motion, please?
Let's see. I move that the board approve as written the targeted improvement plans for Bain Elementary and Francone Elementary.
Second.
Second. Do we have any further discussion on this item? Tom.
Linda, just to go back over some of this, what was the overall rating that the district received prior to administrative adjustment?
The district earned a 92 as the overall rating, and then what's reported now, though, is an 89.
And that's with the administrative adjustment. For that 92, is that comparable to some of our neighboring districts?
Yes, sir. I believe that Katy and Tomball both earned a 92.
Karen, this is a bit of an unfair question because all the numbers have changed, but by now you know I ask unfair questions. Before the numbers changed, both Katy and Tomball received about $800 more a child for education purposes than Cy-Fair. Do we have any idea what that discrepancy is now under the new House bill?
I do not know what it is, but I can get that for you. I know what it was before, but not what it is now.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Linda, a follow-up question. It appeared that for the TIP, it was a return to basics without new programs being added back in. It looked like we were trying to just focus on those things that we know work, with the exception that at Bain we were extending the class day.
That is correct. I like to call it the meat and potatoes of curriculum and instruction. And even with the extended day, it is still the meat and potatoes, making sure that we're understanding the standards, that we are doing a great job with first-time instruction, and that we're supporting our kids and monitoring.
And for the grade received by Bain and Francone, was it close to 70, or did we have a wide disparity?
They were very close to the 70. 69 at one, and actually, what was the other one? Do you remember? Francone? Yeah. They were 69 was one. It was either 68 or 69. The second one as well.
So they were on the cusp. But I do know that the board prefers all of these to be at the 80 level.
Yes.
So we do have an opportunity for further growth.
Absolutely.
In those areas. A follow-up question on Francone, because that's where our pilot program was for pre-K. The analog is where we had the Avanci full-day program. And I had a number of visits, but also interviews with the principal of that school after pre-K rolled out. And one of the anomalies is that even though of the 80 some odd students who started pre-K, only 5 were still there as 5th graders. When that cohort class moved up to 5th grade, what I was told is that the attainment level for each grade increased as that cohort class moved up. I wanted the answer to be that it was because of pre-K, and the principal said not the case. But I wonder in hindsight if perhaps that is part of it as we build capacity within the students. My question for you in Francone, are we seeing that same pattern of increasing capacity in the students, or was that just a standalone issue at the elementary where we had the Avanci half-day plus the Cy-Fair half-day?
No, we certainly are seeing that at Francone as well. And part of when as you're talking reminds me of a big piece of it is the expectations that are set, and they're set at a very young age, and then they're just nurtured throughout the grade levels.
Another follow-up question, and this goes to my board comment about the educational ecosystem. I did ask at a future time if you'd be able to supply information on mobility. I would also like for us to take a look and see what type of campus leadership mobility, if any, that we happen to have at either of those two schools.
We'll work on that, sir. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Linda.
Linda, if any other questions? Just a couple of questions, please. As I understand it, what you presented on this targeted improvement plans, this was a plan that was formulated in conjunction with working with the principals of both of the schools. Is that correct?
That is correct. It was in conjunction with the principal, with some of the leadership there, as well as some of the district leadership, such as Dr. Claiborne and Dr. Goree and Christina Cole, our assistant superintendents.
Okay. And I think you would say it's very important for the principals to buy into the plan and for this to work. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The ownership of this plan by the principals is critical, and it is, as I shared on Thursday, we're a team, but certainly the plan does belong to the principals. They are the ones that worked on it, made sure that all the targets were attainable, and then ready to, and have shared it with their campus, their teachers and their campus leadership as well.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor of 9F, would you please raise your hands? All right. Yes, unanimous. 9G, the board will consider approving the campus and district performance objectives for 2019-2020 campus and district improvement plans. May I have a motion?
Dr. Ogletree, I move that the Board of Trustees approve as submitted the campus and district performance objectives for the 2019-20 campus and district improvement plans.
Second.
Any comment? All those in favor, would you raise your right hands? All right, it's unanimous. We'll now move to the superintendent's briefing portion of the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. More than 1,300 guests visited the 6th Annual CFISD Health Expo, benefiting the Health Organization of Physical Educators on October 12th at the Berry Center. The event was a partnership between the Cy-Fair Houston Chamber of Commerce and CFISD and underwritten by Memorial Hermann Cypress. The event sponsor was Houston Methodist Willowbrook Hospital. Additional expo sponsors included St. Luke's Health, the Vintage Hospital, Face to Face Spa, KSF Orthopedic Center, MD Anderson Cancer Center, MedExpress Urgent Care, Texas Dermatology Specialist, Texas Vein and Wellness Institute, and Villa Sport Athletic Club and Spa. Over 5,000 visitors came out to the Berry Center on October 8th and 9th for the 25th Annual CFISD College Night, hosted by the Guidance and Counseling Department. College Night exposes students and parents to more than 200 colleges and universities, technical and specialty schools, and military representatives. I'd also like to remind the community that schools will be closed the week of November 25th through 29th for the Thanksgiving holidays. Some of our support facilities, including the Instructional Support Center, will also be closed. I'd like to wish all students and employees a relaxing and safe holiday as we take time to be thankful for the many freedoms and blessings we enjoy in this country. And I'd finish up my comments today just, the significance of a life is not what you do for yourself, but the legacy of service you perform on behalf of others. And this is the last meeting, and I know that she's going to be honored at our next board meeting by this Board of Trustees, but on behalf of the superintendent, administration, employees, the citizens of this community, I'd like to thank Darcy for her service. But Darcy's not only served on this school board with great class and great dignity, she's also a huge sponsor and supporter of the American Heart Association. She's a vital member of that, and she's been honored for her work there. She is also one of the key people that helped begin Lone Star College Cy-Fair, which is a real jewel for this community. And our students and our community benefits not only economically by Lone Star College Cy-Fair, but 22,000 students, and 65% of them are Cy-Fair ISD students, are making college a reality because of the vision that Darcy had, along with some others, to start Lone Star College Cy-Fair. She's also been very involved in the Chamber of Commerce, and just her efforts and work to help build this community for the past many decades has turned and helped create Cy-Fair where it is a destination community and a destination district. So Darcy, I appreciate you so much, and on behalf of all of the employees of Cy-Fair ISD, thank you so much for your volunteer work.
I really thought we had a deal that we would not talk about this tonight.
That was the board, not me.
Yeah, she
Because
told us we couldn't say anything tonight.
It is a very emotional time, and I was just thinking that before you started talking, oh my gosh, this is the last time. It has been nothing but my pleasure and my honor to be a part of this board and the board that included Christine Hartley and Kevin Hoffman. It's been a wonderful experience for me, and I believe very firmly that the team is what makes us successful. The fact that we are all so committed to one thing, and that is student success. So thank you for the privilege of serving on this board.
All right, what a way to go out.
Drinks on Darcy.
We are adjourned.